Well, here we are. I'm back on a Sunday night here on November 23rd. We are just days away from Thanksgiving, and that's what we're going to be talking about tonight, the Thanksgiving day forecast, the week ahead, and maybe we'll do a little bit of long range. And that's all coming up next on tonight's Joe and Joe Weather Show podcast. And you can, of course, support the Joe and Joe Weather Show podcast. If you shop on Amazon, use our referral link. And I'm going to put it up on the top of the chat board in just a moment here. Just use this to do your Amazon holiday shopping or your Black Friday shopping, which we know is coming up this week. You just use that link to get you to Amazon. Amazon throws us back a little bit of coin for sending you there. And it's an easy, quick way to support the Joe and Joe Weather Show podcast, where it really doesn't cost you one dime out of your pocket. And we appreciate very much those of you who have done so or plan to do so, because that means that the podcast, the live version of the podcast, can be commercial free. And Tempest by Weatherflow, get the revolutionary Tempest weather system. You join the fastest growing observing weather network on the planet. The link for this is on the description to this podcast on YouTube. And if you use the coupon code, which is Autumn 2025, you get 10% off. So it's just me tonight, folks. Joe is having he has a computer that needed repair. So he's not going to be here tonight. Hopefully he's got a backup computer that if he doesn't get his regular one back tomorrow, he'll be joining us on his backup. So anyhow, hope everybody had a great weekend. I certainly did. It was a very nice weekend. I went to Bryson City, North Carolina yesterday, which is about an hour and a half from me. And if you look it up on Google, it's an old industrial town, a railroad town, and took the grandkids on a trip on the Polar Express yesterday, and it was a lot of fun. We had a great time. And also, they have an amazing, if you're into model trains, they have an amazing Lionel train museum there, and it's free. That's nothing extra. Of course, I had to buy the kids popcorn, and it was designer popcorn at $12 a bag. Great popcorn, but $12 a bag was just a bit much in my taste. So anyhow, good evening to everybody on the chat board tonight, and for those of you who are lurking in the background, welcome to tonight's Joe and Joe Weather Show podcast ahead of the Thanksgiving Day holiday. You can subscribe to my YouTube channel, no cost in doing that. And this way you'll know when we're always on, because you'll get notifications if you turn it on. We're here Sunday through Thursday at 7:35 p.m. Now, there is going to be a schedule change this week. We will be here obviously, I'm here tonight. We'll be here tomorrow. We'll be here Tuesday, but then we're going to be off from Wednesday through Saturday. So after Tuesday, we won't be back until next Sunday. The weather is, for the most part, on the quiet side, and we've got the Thanksgiving Day holiday. So this is a good time to remember that these holidays are around, not to spend them on the computer, not even to spend them watching the Joe and Joe Weather Show podcast, but instead you should be doing family time and enjoying that. So that's my little lecture for tonight. And the butter, the popcorn that I got was this extra butter popcorn, and it is amazing. I don't know if I would ever, if I could buy it again at $12 I mean, it was a big bag. It was maybe about, oh, I don't know, so big. Um, and I haven't even begun to go through it all. But it was definitely worth it. And yes, the family time was wonderful. So remember, that's what this upcoming week is all about. All right, enough of that. I've lectured you enough. We can go ahead and take a look at what's going on tonight. We actually do have winter storm watches up for much of North Dakota and the northern half of Minnesota. That is the weather system, excuse me, that is going to be setting up the next cold front that will be approaching here come late Tuesday into early Wednesday. And that weather front is going to be ushering in the coldest weather of the season so far. We have a bit of severe weather tonight. There's a severe thunderstorm watch up for a fairly large portion of West Texas, as well as flash flood watches that extend up into north central Texas, also part of this next weather system that's coming through. Some patchy, dense fog tonight in areas in central and southern Illinois, southern Indiana, central and western Kentucky, a good chunk of the state of Missouri, and part of the state of Iowa. We also have similar issues in the mountains of California, in central California, and we have a few winter weather advisories in southern Colorado, north central New Mexico, and also some advisories in northeast Montana westward across the northern portion of the state, and a few counties that extend back in Idaho. Not much happening though in the east. It's quiet up and down the eastern seaboard. And as we check the surface map this evening, we do have let's call it a weakish weather front that is moving eastward. It's just basically an upper air trough, and there's a weak front that's with it. The air behind it is maybe a shade colder than the air ahead of it. So there really isn't much contrast here. There's not a whole lot in the way of moisture to work with. So it's, technically it's there, but from the standpoint of an impact on the weather, you really aren't going to be uh, you're not going to notice it when it goes by. So just relax. One thing about this week is we have no major storms to deal with. Just about everywhere. There are going to be some nuisance weather systems, yes, but as far as major storms are concerned, we don't see anything like that. And looking at the satellite loop tonight, which I think has a blank frame in there. Hopefully, it goes away. Refreshing it at the moment. There are some clouds in upstate New York and New England, and New York City and Long Island seem to be on the edge of those clouds, as well as northern Pennsylvania. Everybody to the south of that is mostly clear this evening. Had a beautiful day here in Georgia, where we had sunny skies all day long. Temperatures that made it up into the 60s. It was really, really nice here in the mountains. And here's this swirl. So we have a pretty strong shortwave here that is coming out of the southern Rockies and heading to the northeast. And the blow up of clouds, you see the bright white high cloud tops here in Oklahoma and back into Texas. That's triggering off some showers and thunderstorms. And in the blue, there's that patchy, dense fog that is developing. It's a bit of a warm front that's setting up, and we're seeing areas of fog in Missouri, in southern Illinois, in western Kentucky. And you'll notice on the loop that it's actually growing. So this is why we see that dense fog advisory. And some clouds are starting to stream into North Dakota ahead of the northern energy with all of this. And that is the reason why we've got those winter storm watches and winter weather advisories that are up in that area. There have been some showers around, light stuff. In fact, most of what you see in New England is a loft. There's some showers in southeastern Massachusetts near the Cape. Those are moving out to the east. And there's a little clipper system here. And then we've got some precipitation there in upstate New York, north central New York, that is moving southeastward. But nothing going on down the coast, nothing going on over the rest of the east. And here's the system that's kicking off some severe weather. You see, there are a couple of yellow boxes indicative of some severe thunderstorm warnings that are up, at least as of 7:43 p.m. Eastern Time. And then it goes back to a low that's in southeastern Colorado that's going to be progressing to the east and northeast. And out in the west, fairly quiet, a little bit of activity there in northwest Oregon. Some light precip was scattered aloft in parts of western Washington, and that is just about it. Let's take a look at what the Storm Prediction Center is showing. We do have risk zones here. There is a slight risk, or 15 to 40% chance in that area where we have the severe thunderstorm watch. So it covers the slight and the marginal risk areas, cover central and parts of western Texas. There's a small area of 2% tornado risk with that. And then as we move on to tomorrow, we have a slight risk for severe weather across southeast Texas, northern Louisiana, the northern half, a small portion of west central Mississippi, and southernmost Arkansas. And then on day three, at least for now, SPC is not indicating anything more than a marginal risk for isolated severe thunderstorms in eastern Louisiana, northeastward into a good chunk of the state of Georgia and into southernmost Tennessee. And as far as precipitation goes this week, we're looking at a quarter of an inch or less. There are a few areas being indicating that maybe it'll be up to as much as a half inch in southeastern Massachusetts, a couple little blue spots in western Connecticut, half to three quarters in north central New York, and part of that is what's going on now. And then you look down into the south, into the lower Mississippi River Valley and parts of the Tennessee Valley, and you're looking at an inch and a half to 2.5 inches of liquid being indicated. Across the Dakotas into northern Minnesota, in that area where we have the winter storm watch up, we're looking at a half an inch melted. So this could be a 4 to 6 inch type snowfall for them, and some heavier precip being indicated for the northern Rockies, as well as the Pacific Northwest, where we're looking at several to maybe as much as 4 or 5 inches, especially in the Cascades. So action going on there. Not much this week in California or in Nevada. The Southwest, maybe a little bit of a pickup in parts of Arizona and into Colorado. So this week, as we look forward to see what's going on, we'll take a look at the upper air. And we've got troughing here in the eastern part of the United States. You can see there's an upper low there north of Lake Huron. Also seeing a cutoff low in Arizona. At least that it was there this morning. And this evening, it has moved into southeast Colorado. So if you look at the upper air, and I'm going to just go back real quick to the radar, you see that swirl on the radar from Colorado across into southern Kansas and then arcing back, obviously arcing across Kansas, southern Nebraska, arcing across Kansas, down into Oklahoma and into central Texas and wet parts of western Texas. This is the upper low in play, and this is the mechanism that is causing severe weather. Now, the trough in the east pulls out. The upper low in Colorado moves east, and there's northern energy. You see that blue spot there in Washington State tomorrow morning, moving eastward. So that's the mechanism to cause some snow up there in the Dakotas and northern Minnesota. And for us, it's going to be the cold front. And this upper trough strengthens considerably as it reaches the East Coast come Thanksgiving Day. And with a trough like this, we have a strong northwest flow in the upper atmosphere. And there it is. And that's going to bring down some very cold air for Thursday and for Friday. And along with that, I think we're going to have to deal with some wind, particularly Friday. Friday looks like it may actually be windier than Thursday, but Thursday is going to be certainly would qualify in my mind as breezy. And I'm thinking that maybe we probably see some gusts up above 30 miles an hour, which may or may not have some impact on the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade and other parades that go on in the East with the Thanksgiving holiday. And that trough's going to hang around going into Saturday. Then it starts to go away because a deep trough drops down into the southwest. You see a big upper low comes diving down from western Canada and dives right down into Nevada and California and then off the coast of California for early next week, which means we're going to have some ridging here in the eastern part of the United States. Now, it's not a big ridge, it's not a strong ridge, but it is some ridging, but it doesn't last. The upper low in the west drops down south of California back into the Pacific, west of the Baja Peninsula. You start to get some ridging coming into the northwest part of the U.S. and into southwestern Canada. So that's going to allow for troughing to return to the east along about Monday or Tuesday of next week, and then another one, something stronger and more impressive, especially for eastern Canada and New England. Beyond that, so maybe a little bump up in temperatures. So we have not seen we have not seen big warm ups in between these weather systems that we've had in the last week or two. We've got a day or two where temperatures warm up, but they really don't warm up very much. I mean, we go a little bit above normal, and that's about it. It's not like we warm up in a big way, and I think that's probably where we're going to be in the overall pattern in the next couple of weeks. I think we're going to be on the edge of below normal temperatures, and every so often it's going to flex. And then when that colder air pulls out, you get a brief warm up, and then something else, another cold air mass will probably replace it. But it's not, it doesn't seem to me, except for the one on Thanksgiving, where the cold is going to get down into the southeastern part of the U.S. As we move into the first week of December, the colder air is probably going to be eastern Canada, New England, and maybe getting down into the northern mid Atlantic states. That would be probably the southern limit of of the cold pushes, unless we wind up seeing a deep trough that winds up coming down in the east again. But right now, the European is sort of leaning away from that idea. So, as far as precipitation is concerned, and being that this is a big travel week, so there's your low in South Dakota and the snow that's going to get produced there, and ahead of it with the system, the cutoff low in Colorado, you got a low there in southeast Missouri Tuesday morning. And that rides the two systems just sort of combine. The upper low, the system in the north eventually just takes over, and we'll probably see some showers come in Tuesday afternoon into Tuesday night. Most of it's going to be gone before daybreak on Wednesday. What seems to be happening is that things are moving just a little bit faster. So Wednesday's probably going to be of a bit of a transition day. There's a second front if you look here on this surface map here, this is at 1 a.m. on Wednesday. So the first front is going by, but there's a second front, and that represents the colder air that is coming in behind that low that's up in northeastern Wisconsin come Wednesday morning. And that low is going to strengthen as it moves eastward. So once the second front comes through, and there might be a couple of scattered showers around Wednesday afternoon and evening. Wednesday is going to be a mildish day. I think we'll be in the 50s to near 60, but the cold air is coming in faster. We'll be in the 30s, probably 30s most places by Thursday morning, and then Thursday dayside, probably not getting much above the low to mid 40s. The colder air will be coming in. The gradient is going to start to tighten up, particularly Thursday afternoon, and then it gets more even tighter Thursday night into Friday. Friday's going to be quite windy. It might be borderline wind advisory for Friday. This low in eastern Canada gets down into the 980s, and the high to the west is a 1033 high in Iowa. So that's a pretty good spread, and certainly the gradient will be tight enough to maybe push the wind advisory button. We'll see. But either way, I mean, we're still going to be talking about gusty winds, but it is going to be dry. The European is hinting on a storm system developing next weekend in Colorado, in southern Colorado, and it may finally break the snow drought there for my Colorado watchers, Maggie P. This may be your opportunity for snow come next weekend and spreading up into parts of the northern plains and into the northern Great Lakes. The high is going to move overhead and then slide out to the east. So we'll see temperatures trend upward. There'll be another cold front that will come through sometime on Monday. Doesn't look like it's a big deal. The showers look patchy, and the front kind of gets hung up and it waits for something else to go push it by. So it might be hang around for a day or two. And then we've got a colder air mass, a colder high that comes in for around December 3rd, December 4th, and that'll be another push of colder air. And that one actually gets down into the plains. So that's why you see freezing rain and snow in New Mexico and into Northwest Texas and into Oklahoma. So right now, we're just sort of moving along here in the flow, uh, not seeing anything that is overly threatening. I do have one thing I do want to show you is I've been kind of fooling around with this is what I'm putting up on the screen is uh, the Google model that did very well during in its hurricane forecasting in terms of track. Was kind of questionable in terms of intensity, but in terms of track, and there's some there's some weekly temperature maps here that I thought we'd take a look at. And the areas in pinkish or salmon color would be areas of above normal temperatures. I don't, one of the issues that I'm still trying to figure this out is what the colors mean because there's no scale here to tell you. But I'm guessing that temperatures in the salmon color are above normal, and the lighter the shade, the less above normal it is. And then you go down into the darker, um, sort of reddish brown that you see in South Texas. That would be much above normal. And the blues are above normal. White is close to normal. So this is the week from November 24th to December 1st and 2nd. So, averages out to mostly normal, maybe a little bit above slightly in New England, but mostly normal, below back in the northern plains and into western Canada. The week that follows would be December 1st through the 8th, and that has above normal temperatures pushing into southern New England and much above normal in the southeast. But then we go on to the 8th to the 15th. And now we're back to we're below normal in northern New England, near normal till you get to central New Jersey. And then it's a little above normal and then a little more above normal as you move down the mid Atlantic into the southeast. And you can see below normal temperatures across along the Canadian border, back through the Great Lakes and into the northern plains. And we go to the 20. This is the week now of the 20. That was okay. So this is the week of the 15th to the 22nd, 22nd to the 29th around Christmas. Much of the country is either near or below normal. Interesting. And then we go to the last period, which is from the 29th to the 5th. And again, much of the country near or below average as far as temperatures are concerned. Take it with a grain of salt. It's it's the Google Deepcast model, I think it's called, or GraphCast or whatever it is. I have not really worked with it, so I don't know how good it's been in terms of the general weather forecasting in terms of outside of tropical storms and hurricanes. I did see mentions in a lot of the discussions along the way this past hurricane season where the Hurricane Center was talking about the fact that they were using it and they were talking about it in their discussions. And a few people have pointed out that it did do really well when it came down to hurricane track, but it was sort of 50-50 when it came down to intensity. So, why are people freaking out? I just saw somebody. This is one of the things about when I do the show alone, and I got to do everything, is that I have to do like five different things at once between the technical stuff I have. Deep mind. Thank you, Rich Rothmansky, because I have no mind. My mind is like jello. Um, let's see. I just saw somebody says some people are freaking out. And of course, as soon as I looked at it, the chats all jumped up and now I've lost it. So I'm sorry. Whatever it was, I was trying to read it. I wanted to see what that was all about. But unfortunately I missed it. So anyhow, uh, not much else to say here with regards to the weather going on. Uh, I used to do this show by myself. Now I'm so after so many Joe and I have been doing this together now for about five or certainly the last five years, maybe 6 years. So I don't get to do it by myself very often. So I'm kind of not used to it. Why are people, Harold Olson, they're freaking out over the 360-hour operational runs? Why? Who cares? It's 15 days from now. And by the way, from the standpoint, because I do look at it, uh, there's a 99.9% probability that on the very next the main run, the 12Z and the 0Z run, that it's going to be different. So we'll just leave it there. Um, who cares what it's doing? Really, because it's just the models doing what they do as they go further out in time. They just the spread gets wider and wider. It's like a V. and the possibilities are far greater the further out in time you go. So they let them freak out. Who cares? Um, let's see. Does Joe's computer have a legit issue? I just want to make sure if he didn't fall for one of those fake virus scams. No, he was. No, he has he has an arranged. He's got the what is it? The Geek Squad. He's got a thing with the Geek Squad, and once a year he brings us a computer in for a tune-up. But apparently there was a problem with it, and they're trying to fix it. So no, but it wasn't any kind of virus scase. It's nothing like that. But like I said, hopefully he'll get that worked out. Okay, so somebody's asking me. Oh, Frank Scalera, yes, is my kitchen done? All right. Well, let me bring up. I'll bring up some pictures. Uh, hold on. Okay. Hang on a second here. Just give me a moment. I will bring up. Oh, come on. No. Why am I getting this page? Let me try this again. Uh, finally. Okay, so where am I? So the answer to your question about whether my kitchen is done, the answer is now where are the most recent pictures? Oh, good Lord, where'd they go? There's the faucet. I'll show you what it looks like. Now, the only thing that is not done yet, the last thing is the backsplash, and I'm gonna do that. That's gonna be done in the next couple of weeks. I'm sorry, folks. Just give me a moment here, and there we go. Ah, there it is. All right, let me move it back in. So everything else is done now. The dishwasher's installed. Okay, it's this was right before the installation. So the dishwasher's installed, but this is my new kitchen. So I am very happy. I am thrilled to death. The old kitchen was a was 30 years old. It was the kitchen that when I bought my house, that was the kitchen they had, and it was white. Not that there's anything wrong with white, but it was white, and the cabinets were old, and the paint was. They had originally had wood cabinets, uh, the old light grain oak type cabinets, and they painted them over white, and the paint was coming off. So it was just time to just say, and it wasn't, I needed uh, something that was a little more functional. And I wound up in the same space getting more cabinet space. I got a bigger island. I got my double oven. That's a microwave on the top. The standing stove is actually a double oven. There's two ovens in the front. And then, of course, the dishwasher and the refrigerator. And the refrigerator is complete with pictures that my grandchildren have drawn for me. So there you go. Okay. I'm not putting under the cabinet lighting. I'm not doing it. No need for it. Not for me. I I I I get plenty of lighting, and I I don't want it. So there you go. Uh, tomorrow, let's keep our fingers crossed. Joe hopefully will be back. Just a reminder once again that we are going to be here tomorrow at 7:35. We'll be here Tuesday at 7:35, and then we're going to be off Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, and come back again next Sunday. So everybody I hope you all had a great weekend. Okay, and we will see you back tomorrow night at 7:35. Have a great night.